this week's episode of the Squirrel's Den Coaches Show. I'm Brent Nelson alongside Travis Lamar and Tommy Butler. We're here in the Bank North Theater at Central Cass. On this episode, we will discuss the scrimmage that happened on Friday. We'll look ahead to the game against Lisbon, and we'll get to know one of our new assistant coaches.
Last Friday, the Squirrels got a chance to test themselves against a few of the AAA schools, Fargo North, Davies, and South. Coach Butler, give us your thoughts on what it was like getting out there and competing against some other teams.
I thought it was really good. I thought our guys really stepped up to, the challenge of playing some AAA schools. It was definitely good to get out there and hit somebody different, that's for sure. I mean, that was one of the things I asked them at the end, and I mean, those guys went crazy asking them how nice it was to be able to hit somebody new. We started off with Fargo North, and I thought our guys, again, like I said, stepped up. Fargo North threw some different looks at us that we hadn't really seen very much of, so that was took some adjusting to, offensively especially, and after probably a few plays, I thought our guys kind of handled their blitzes and their pressures pretty well. And then defensively, we started on defense, and I thought our guys really came out there and performed really well. Our communication was really good. They ran a lot of basic plays, so our guys, I thought really, like I said, had a really good showing there, and our physicality I thought was really good. We moved on to play Davies, same kind of thing offensively. They, our guys moved the ball pretty well against them, and then defensively we played 15 straight plays against them, and I think it took them 14 plays to score from the 35-yard line. So again, just really pleased with our physicality and the way that we matched up against their wing tee. In our final scrimmage, we scrimmaged Fargo South, who I think is really going to be the number one team. Pigskin Preview has them as the number one team on the east side for AAA. I thought we really did our physicality was really good there. They have some tremendous athletes, so that was really nice for us to see that. And kind of exposed a couple little things for us, some areas where we needed to clean up some stuff, and as those 15 plays kind of rolled on, I thought our guys kind of settled in and settled down against them. We started off offensively on a really high note, scoring a touchdown on that first play, and then again, just having to work through some kinks, things like that you don't get to see when you're going against yourself all the time. So I was really pleased with how we competed. Our effort was high. And, I thought our guys, for the ups and downs that we had, continued to battle. We didn't get too high, we didn't get too low. And I just thought we battled really well.
So you've had a chance to watch the tape a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's never as good as you feel like it's going to be, and it's never as bad as you maybe thought it was going to be.
Yep.
Give us a couple things, both good and bad, from what you saw in your team on Friday.
So I would say the best thing that we saw, like I said, throughout all of our scrimmages, was our physicality. We didn't back down from those guys. Not to say that we won every battle, but our guys, rose up, and we played some bigger offensive lines, especially defensively, and I thought our guys, came up there and were just as physical as they were. Offensively, same deal. I thought up front, we really had some questions kind of going into there, and I thought our guys played pretty well. The negatives I would say that we took away from there were we really got to work on our communication up front of where we're going, and then defensively is just making sure that we know what coverages we're in. That was so really it's just communication as our biggest thing, which again comes with facing new teams. You're not game prepping for them. You're just kind of going out there with your base defenses and trying to make checks as you go, but. Like I said, I was really pleased with the physicality that we had, and those little checks I think will come with practice.
Communication is key, not only on the football field, but also in life.
In life.
All right, let's get into Lisbon. Describe the anticipation, for you with this being your first game as the head coach of the Central Cass Squirrels football team.
I think for me it's exciting, yes, but to me it's more exciting for our program, for our kids. The hard work that they've put in. A lot of these guys, like we said before, I've sat behind a lot of really good seniors for multiple years, and now it's their time to shine. So I can't wait to see what our guys are going to come out there and do. And I just hope that we perform to the level that I know that we're capable of.
Tell me about Lisbon. What do they got?
Man, they're big. They're really big. They're up front. I think almost every one of their guys will outweigh our biggest person. So they'll be big. They have a really good athlete in Jordan Sowers. And they're going to give us a couple different looks that most teams don't ever run in a single wing offense. And so, that kind of stuff is just really tough to prepare against. It's really hard to mimic in practice. And so, we're doing the best that we can with our guys, but, that's definitely a tough matchup. And then, like we said, defensively, I mean, they're so big up front that, hopefully we can get some movement from our guys and, hopefully be able to spread it out a little bit on them.
So what do you think are the keys for victory?
I think the keys for victory for us are, again, the communication aspect, because they'll give us a couple different looks defensively. As long as we know, what coverages we're in and where we got to be, I think we'll be just fine with that. I think our speed will be a factor in there. And then offensively, it's making sure that our guys up front are on the same page, and that, again, trying to use our speed and athleticism out there, and really try to push the ball on them. So, like I said, I'm just looking forward to, this week of prepping for one team and making sure that our guys go out there and we put them in the best spot possible.
You've probably been practicing for a long time now. You're just ready to get out on the field and see what you got.
Yeah, the scrimmage was nice, but now to get a full weeks of practice for one squad is going to be, it's really nice for us as coaches to really kind of dive in and put your sole focus on one thing. So I think our kids are going to be ready for the challenge, though.
All right, we've got plenty of new faces on the coaching staff this year, so we'd like to take some time and get to know one of them a little bit. Coach Riley Iverson, welcome to the Squirrel's Den.
Thank you so much.
Why don't we start out by getting to know you a little bit?
Yeah, so I graduated from Stanley High School in 2017. So I am currently a junior at Minnesota State University Moorhead, majoring in English education. And then I eventually want to be a principal, get my master's and be a principal after that, and then be a coach as well.
Nice.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your family and your background from Stanley?
Yeah, so working class family. My mom and dad were high school sweethearts in a town about 30 miles west of Stanley, and then moved to Stanley after college. And I have a younger sister who's a year younger than me. She's in college at Bismarck right now. And growing up in Stanley, it was a small town, and I had 20 to 25 kids in my class the whole time that I was in high school, so I got really close with them. And it was just about working hard and doing the right thing, and sports were definitely a big part of that.
So we've learned a little bit about you.
Yep.
Tell us how you got here to Central Cass.
Yeah, so I played under Tommy when he was the head coach at Stanley, and he was a strength and conditioning coach there for 3 or 4 years prior to that, before he was head coach. And I don't know, I always tell Tommy that he probably had the biggest impact on me as a teacher, or even just a person in my life as I was growing up. So I really related to him. I connected with him, and so over the years we've stayed close. And then throughout this past spring, we got kind of even closer. And he talked about taking the head coaching job, and I thought, I volunteered to help out because I want to be a coach, and I knew the history of this program, and I knew what you guys have done in the past couple of years. And like I said, I had a great relationship with Tommy, and I had a few conversations with Travis leading up to it. And I just, with my connection with Tommy, like I said, being so strong, and then with my love for football and wanting to get into coaching, I thought, what better time to start than now.
So I want you to tell the people a little bit about what your role is on our coaching staff.
Yeah, so my role this year is I'm going to be the JV offensive coordinator, so I'll call plays for the JV games on Monday nights, which I'm excited about. I've always been interested in the offensive side of football, and I think you have to start somewhere, and I'm looking forward to diving into your playbook and getting getting a grasp of that and being able to call plays. And then for Tommy, I coach outside linebackers on the defensive side, and then a little bit of everywhere on the offensive side. I help Trav out with some things on quarterbacks, and then I do a lot of the tight end and wing back, our H back, and even helping on some routes with Theo. So I'm kind of all over the place on offense.
What would you say the biggest difference is between being a player and now being a coach?
I think the biggest difference for me was when I was a player, I was focused on playing my position, or I was focused on, just what I needed to do. And as a coach, it's been weird for me to be 20 and be out here with these guys, because I feel like in some ways I still am a player. But the coaching aspect, even through the first 3 weeks, it's already there's just an overview to being a coach. You know what I mean? Like I said, you're involved in the defense. I'm involved in a lot of things on the offense, or at least what we're trying to teach our guys on offense. And that was just something that I never had as a player. It's like, as a player, you play your position, and it could have been in any sport that I was playing. It's just you were kind of focused on your position and doing your role to help the team. Whereas as a coach, it's kind of how do you get all these moving parts to cohesively work together, especially in football. So that's been the biggest difference, I think. It's just, having a wider understanding, especially at the high school level, and how you got to deal with the kids and all that.
What's been your biggest frustration?
The kids. I think, like I said, I maybe am not as frustrated because I'm a kid still. I'm 20, so I mess around almost, or I'm goofy the same way that they are. But there was a couple times I got chewed out in high school, and I didn't really know why or what for. And 3 weeks into the job, you can definitely see why.
Yeah,
and what for you get chewed out.
You love them, but at the same time, it's like, come on,
you just
step left.
I know. Lucky.
Yeah.
Step left, Ricky. Step right. Yeah.
It's not going to get any different as you keep going, so get used to it.
They're fun, though. That's why we do it. All right, Riley. So we're coming to the rapid fire round, okay? Things might get a little personal, okay?
That's okay.
Just first thing that pops into your mind. This has definitely become one of the crowd favorites here, okay?
Okay.
So, first rapid fire question I have for you is, name the perfect date.
The perfect date, okay.
Describe the perfect date, not name the perfect date.
Okay, well, the perfect date, the date's got to be with me, right?
Good
that's
start.
That's good start.
That's how the perfect date starts, is that it's with me.
All right.
A perfect date for me would have to be in the summertime, and I would say doing some sort of picnic in the park / bike ride. So doing like a bike ride and then a picnic, or a picnic and then a bike ride, and then just kind of chilling and talking, and then getting like some ice cream as like the nightcap. So you're getting a little active, you're getting a little talking in, plus a little bit of sweets at the end. I think that's, and you can do that right here in Fargo.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good.
And like I said, the date's with me, so.
Yeah, good luck with that.
Hey, 4 for 4.
Good luck.
So it sounds like you're an Office fan.
I am an Office fan, yes.
Favorite character and why?
I like Dwight. I think I like Dwight because he's annoying, or because he's the only one that tries to make sense of things that people are doing. It would be easy to say Michael, but he's too goofy, right? So he's not in touch with the world. And Jim is too much in touch. Like, Jim's like our point of view. So like Dwight's that middleman where he is in touch and he's really intelligent, but he still is just oblivious to things that Michael are doing. It's hilarious. So I would say.
I feel like Michael Scott's the greatest character of all time, so that's okay. I think Dwight.
Okay.
Yeah, and I hope your roommates put all your stuff in Jell-O. So. Question number 3. Okay, so you said, you're only 20, so you're still kind of like a player, at heart. So we're going to ask you a couple questions that we asked our players during this one, okay? So I'm going to ask you the same thing I asked Josh Dixon. Spirit animal, what is it?
Gosh, my spirit animal has to be something not cool. It's got to be like, you ever seen those You ever seen the, gosh, can't even think of the name, like the otters that just kind of like float at the surface of water, their bellies sticking out, and they're just chilling? That's definitely got to be it. Or like a beaver, or like a penguin, something that just is like chilling, kind of like looks like they know what they're doing, right? Like if you see a penguin, you're like, oh, a penguin knows what he's doing, but he probably doesn't. And I think I'm the best at that, pretending that I know what I'm doing, and I don't actually know.
Okay.
All right, last one. You got 3 people you can invite to dinner,
Yeah.
dead or alive.
Okay.
Who you inviting?
The first one is The Rock. I like Dwayne Johnson a lot, so I definitely do him. Second one has to be my celebrity crush, Margot Robbie. I'm inviting her, and I'm trying to put on a show. trying to see if she, trying to see if she's into me, if she's not. And gosh, the third person that I invite to dinner, I'd probably have to say my grandma. She died when I was like 7, so I didn't get to talk to her that much. So I felt like if I get to have my grandma at dinner when I'm like 20 years old, plus I got this girl I'm trying to impress, my grandma would talk me up. She would do all that kind of stuff. So I feel like that's a pretty good tandem, is like The Rock. One, we know we're going to eat something kind of healthy, right? Then Margot's there, and then my grandma's there to talk me up.
If you're using your grandma as a wingman, though, I don't think you want The Rock there. I'm just saying.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know. And also, if I have The Rock there, Margot probably won't The Rock instead of me.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
See, that's exactly what I'm saying.
that's my mistake right
Yep.
Well, Riley, we appreciate you coming on the show here, and we're really excited to see where you help take this team this year.
there. Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
You
I
bet.
appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
Well, that'll do it for this episode of the Squirrels Den Coaches Show. Tune in next week as we recap the Lisbon game, complete with highlights and post-game interviews. We'll also take a look at the JV and junior high football squads and see what their season looks like. So for Travis Lamar, I'm Brent Nelson, saying good night, and thanks for watching.
Special shout out to Coach Riles. Thanks for coming in tonight. We appreciate your time. Have a good night.